everyone. Welcome to Amanda's Booktopia. If you're new here, welcome, and if not, welcome back. And today is our live show for the Sword of Kaigen. So I don't know if you've read the book. If not, we are going to be talking spoilers. So if you want to go read it and then come back and watch again, that is fine too. For those who don't know, me, well, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, and everybody will be linked down below so you can check out everyone else's channels. And here is our guest host. To go this way, Josh. So
Hello,
if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Josh. Bookish Daddy is my channel on YouTube. Uh, yeah, that's. I give my rating on Sword of Kaigen?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So I gave it 3 stars. Don't attack me.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I know everyone I've told so far was devastated, but I mean, we
Well,
can go over reasonings in a little bit, but that's
yeah.
kind of where my head was at with this book so far.
And also, I forgot to give my rating. I gave it 4 stars, so I'm not too far off from it. All right, now down here.
Hi guys, it's Clint from Reads Readers again. This is probably the one that I've given the highest rating out of all of our month's picks. No offense to last month's, even though I gave last month's a 6 star. This is like, I would give this a 15 million star if I could. This is
Wow.
my second favorite book of the year. It worked for me.
Yeah.
I can see where all the issues are for certain people. So even though it's like an ow, understandable.
Right.
But yes, 6 star, just everything. And I give 6 stars for like favorites of the year.
Okay.
That's pretty
And
good.
it helps me differentiate my 5 stars, like what will be on my faves of the year list.
Right. And we already have somebody here. Hi, Bookish Daddy's pretty handsome. I can't lie.
That's my wife hopping in the chat.
Hi, Jesse. Nice to meet you. I know we talked once before when I was on Josh's channel that one time.
You better disappear before you get spoilers.
Well, she knows that we're talking spoilers, though, because I did mention we were talking spoilers. So if you haven't finished it yet, Jesse, you definitely should. And then come back and let us know what you thought. Hey, Karina. Sally did get a chance to read this one, but I'm excited to get to it eventually. I was so hoping you were going to read it this month, Karina.
Like I said, this month was the shortest yet longest month of our lives.
It really did. I have to admit. I agree.
I blame one particular thing that caused it. But I won't mention it.
Jesse's leaving now. Bye.
Bye.
Well, she can always come back and rewatch after she finishes the book.
Yeah, she will.
Mm-hmm. And Karina says, hi, Ray. She fell into a funk and didn't get to quite a few books in my TBR. Understandable. There's a lot of books that Lindsay picked for me that I did not get to. Yes. I did not get to Mistborn. I did not get to Heat of the Everflame.
See, and I'm curious what your thoughts are on Mistborn, because I DNF'd it.
Oh, really?
Well, no, Amanda. Like, I'm waiting for Amanda to read it, because me and her sometimes we align, but then there's times where we're so drastically different.
DNF and it's so wild. That's my second favorite series of all time.
I attempted to read it 5 different times and got to the same page, and I still was so confused. It's like the writing style. I tried it with an audiobook, without an audiobook, and reading physically. Something about the writing style and me just don't.
Yeah. And it's one of those books too that's a lot. Like, you almost have to have a notebook and a pen writing different like magics down, and metals.
Right?
I was scared that this was going to have similar writing because it's epic fantasy and stuff. But this was so easy to read.
It didn't feel like epic fantasy to me.
Felt like we were reading a Sarah J. Maas, to be honest.
It did a little bit. It felt very similar in that style of writing.
Hmm.
And then there was other books on my May TBR I did not get to. I did not get to Sweet Nightmare. I did not get to How Does It Feel, and did not get to Under the Oak Tree. But everything else I did get to.
I
I
didn't
did a
get to
lot
a
of mood
lot of
reading.
mine.
I did a lot of mood reading in the month of May. And this week I'm gonna film my rest of May wrap up. So I already did like a mid month wrap up. So just gonna talk about the ones that I read after the mid month that I read.
Yeah.
But I did get to quite a few. I have to admit.
I read a lot of MM.
I think my
Shocker.
last couple months were all Bloodsworn Saga. It took forever to read that series.
I mean, those are chunky books.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I told Ray because you liked it that he should read it because
it
you
was
and him
so
seem to
good.
vibe on those types of books.
It was so good. It's the one
Bloodsport
that beat
Saga?
out Mistborn as my favorite series.
It's
So now
the John
Bloodsworn
Quinn
Saga.
books that I told you about.
Oh, okay. Those are the books I was thinking. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah, Hunger of the Gods,
Hmm.
Shadow of the Gods, and Fury of the Gods.
yeah. And then you could go back and rewatch Josh's video again after you read them.
They're so good. If you like Vikings, the TV
I
show,
think
or
they
anything
are.
Nordic, oh, so freaking
I will
good.
have to let my
Right.
roommate know because he's obsessed with anything Vikings.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm telling you, it is the best series I've ever read. It's crazy good.
Yeah, I know that's also epic fantasy.
I mean, after this, I'm willing to give other epic fantasies actually a
I think
chance.
the first book's called Shadow of the Gods. I think Josh said.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and then there's two more books after that. It all ends with the gods. So anything that says the gods in the title, those are the ones. I think he's looking them up now. Karina said she'll be back to watch when she manages to pick it up. Have a good chat. Bye, Karina.
Bye, Karina, even though you're probably already gone.
Josephine. Hi, Josephine. Popping in to say hi, lurking for the support. I was in full cleaning out my net galley this month. Hey, that's always a good thing to do. Clean out that net galley.
I think she said she read 7 arcs in like a row.
Wow.
I'm
That's a
like,
lot.
if I remember, I have arcs.
I don't do net galley anymore, mostly because I never get to them in time, and then I end up wanting to read others, and it's just not a priority. So I'm like, you know what, net galley can go.
I think
However, I did just get Kenny Ryan's new book in on Libby, and I was able to borrow it. So I'm gonna add that into my new releases blog that I'm working on. So I'm very excited to read Kenny Ryan's new book.
I still need to finish a Kennedy Ryan series, seeing as the only thing I've read is a novella.
I don't think I've read any of their work.
I think you said you had Long Shot by her, didn't you?
That was
Possibly.
I think I saw it. I thought I heard you mention in one of your videos, Long Shot.
basketball, dark romance,
Oh no,
is
I
what
haven't
it
read
sounds.
that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the house though, but I have not
Or,
read it.
or was it Before I Let Go that you mentioned? It was
Mm,
one of the two. I can't
mm.
remember which one. But she's very similar to Abby Jimenez writing,
Oh, I
but
like
hers is a
Abby
little. The
Jimenez.
Kenny Ryan's a little bit darker.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, wait, Kennedy might go a little darker than Abby
Yeah,
does.
it's similar writing styles, just that
Hmm.
Kenny delves into more emotional things,
Oh,
even more
okay.
so than Abby does.
Which is saying a lot because Abby can punch you in the gut.
And
Yeah.
Long Shot, I just got Lindsay to read Long Shot, and she loved it. She gave it 4.5 stars.
She read
So
it in one sitting without moving from her chair.
Oh man.
like
I was like,
400. She said it was
wow.
like 450 pages.
And for her, that's a feat for her to be sitting in one spot,
Right?
undisturbed, to read that long.
I can't sit that
And for those who
long
are
ever.
interested in that, um, for those who are interested in that vlog, I'll link it down below so you can check out Lindsay reading my recommendations. Because it was a fun video. All right, now let's get into the questions, shall we?
Yeah, Sword of Kaigen. I'm curious to see
Let's
y'all's thoughts.
see. All right. Who are your favorite and least favorite characters and why?
My favorite is the mother.
Me
Is
too.
Okay.
oh god, what is her name? Misaki?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's how you say it.
Misaki and Masuda were both not Masuda. That's their last name.
Yeah.
Mamoru. Mamoru and Misaki were my favorites. And
Mom-
Hmm.
with Mamoru, I was shattered. Listen.
Yeah.
yeah,
That was
Mamoru
that was
was
a
my
tough scene.
favorite character by a lot. And then my least favorite character was probably his dad.
Yeah.
I would have said the dad until we got towards the end, where we got to understand the dad a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's my first star I took off was because of what happened to Mamoru. And then the second star I took off was because they actually gave the dad a redemption arc. Both of them.
Yeah.
I did not like
I did
either
not see
of them
that coming at the end with the whole redemption thing. I honestly really thought she was just gonna leave him.
I was hoping she'd kill him. I was over it. I was
So was I.
devastated at that loss. And then
Even even Ray said that he was like really upset with the way he was treating her in the beginning.
yeah.
Like, he almost DNF'd it because of how bad it was.
Mm.
Well, I know it's like different times, different place. You know, there's different worlds where people are mistreated. But it's
Yeah.
the fact he got a redemption and then like the knife dig when Mamoru does use the whispering blade and then it goes on to say that his brother's the one recognized for using it first. It just oh man, I was over it.
But his whispering,
Right.
but I will say his whispering blade isn't a pure whispering blade because he used his blood as
Yeah.
well. So he used both sides of his parents.
Yeah, but the world will never know. I
Yeah.
was devastated.
Ugh.
Devastated.
Also, I really liked that guy that Mamoru was with in the beginning. The one that was new to that to
I
their
think it was
area.
Kwang.
Yeah, Queen. Huh? Who are you talking about, right? I don't remember a Robin in the book. Oh wait,
See,
there is a Robin in the book.
yeah, that's another thing that threw me
I
off was
forgot about him.
Kwang when he was first introduced. I went into this thinking it was like ancient Japan, which was my fault for having like
Mm.
pre-notion. So when he met Kwang and he pulled out like a video game system and was like had like digital capabilities, it really threw me for a loop.
It threw me for a loop
Yeah,
too.
it did for me too because I was thinking, we're going back in, like you said, like a little bit more ancient times where there's like no devices, and and yet they brought in all these modern devices, and I'm like, I'm confused.
Which is once that came out, I went, oh, so this is just one of those villages that refuses to
Yeah,
modernize.
that's kind of
Yeah.
what I got from it too. Did you say who your favorite was, Amanda?
um, I really liked Quang, and I also really liked Misaki. I kind of wish we got more history on Robin though.
Yeah. From
I
what
feel
I
like there
was
was more
told,
there.
after I finished this, apparently there is another series that leads up to this. And in that series, it goes over Robin's backstory and him
Really?
on the streets.
See, I was looking into that, but that series sounds completely different than this.
That's what I thought.
Like, it makes no
Mm,
sense. But the way that this is set up, it's set up in a way that I felt like this is a book that is set in one village. We have one character that has experienced the outside world and a couple of others
Yeah,
that come in to bring their experiences, but it's one village at one particular time.
right.
right.
So,
Apparently, that other
so,
series has all these people in it.
so maybe because they're out of print, so maybe they're getting rewritten and we might get an
Oh,
actual story, because the way that this ended off was like, oh, I could see an entire story going off with that off to the side, and this still be considered a standalone,
yeah,
because this even says a Theonot War story. So it's like
yeah,
Yeah.
that
this
makes
is like
sense.
a side quest in the
Yeah, that's
video
kind of
game.
what it felt like.
And then which
It
one
did
you said
feel
Misaki? Which one was that? That
The
sounds
mom,
familiar. Oh, is that her name?
Masaki
Okay,
Masaki Masuda
okay,
is the
I
mom.
also really liked Misaki's sister-in-law.
yeah, I liked her a lot.
That
Yes,
Suko, I think her name was.
Sasuka.
Yeah, something like
something
that.
like that.
Setsuko, something like that. I really liked her. She made me laugh.
Yeah, she was a good character.
She was really funny.
But no, Mamaru was definitely my favorite. He was a warrior through and through. And then least favorite, it says why. I don't like the dad because of the way he mistreated
Right.
everyone and ended up being more of a coward than anyone else just because he
Yeah.
found a way to escape from anything he didn't want to deal with.
And
And it
the way
was
he
so
put his son
frustrating.
up like that.
Yeah, it was
See,
so frustrating.
I didn't like the uncle.
The
Like
Oh,
dog.
I,
yeah.
when the dad was introduced and how the dad was treating him, but they also flashed back with
Mhm.
Masuka, Misaki. Wow, it's going to be hard to pronounce these names in my southern twang. Um, there was that moment where her father-in-law was hitting her and she was
Yeah.
having to bow. So in my head, I went, what did he do to him? So the entire time,
Mhm.
every time he did something, I was like, oh, this is trained behavior
Right.
Right.
because he's the second son.
But
Yeah.
that's what
He's
was
the heir.
frustrating too, is he was one of the most powerful warriors to ever live, and he never broke the cycle, which I know isn't an easy thing to do. But as an author writing a character, I would have loved at one point for him to stand up for his wife or break the cycle. Would have been cool.
Mhm.
And then by the time he does, it's too late for me to have cared.
So it was like it was the uncle the entire time that I was like, when the fuck is this fucker getting killed?
And
So
I
that
was
the
Yeah.
waiting
dad can
for
take over and possibly change things.
and I really wanted the dad to stand up to the uncle Takashi. I I really wanted him to like push him and be like, I'm not leaving my son here,
Yeah.
on the battlefield where he could get killed. This is his first battle. He's barely been trained. Like he shouldn't even be there. I was really frustrated that he wouldn't stand up for his own son.
Yeah.
That
It was
bothered me
frustrating.
a little bit.
But also in that moment, I have to play devil's advocate here a little bit with that. Because in that moment, yes, I was upset that he sent the dad off to go protect the women. But in his head, I'm thinking the uncle knew the dad is the best survival for the family.
Yeah. I
If
mean, it's a tough
if
decision.
if the dad didn't go and Mamoru did, there's more of a chance that the entire family's getting killed.
Yeah. That
Well,
makes
he could
Sacrifice
just
the
send both
son
of them
to
back.
save his wife.
Yeah.
Sacrifice the nephew to save his wife is what he was saying in his own head.
Yeah, I
But
didn't
he
like
even
that.
tried to save him by saying, "Go, go to the oh God, what are they called? The
I
blacksmiths. Go to the blacksmiths. Go protect them." Because I think in his own way was this is his way of Mamoru, go hide, go do this.
I understand the brother's reasoning, wanting to send his own brother back to protect his wife and everybody
Mhm.
else. It's the
Yeah.
dad who refused to do it that upset me, where I was
Mm,
like I see your brother's point of view, he wants his wife safe, but you should also have some backbone and want your son safe, not just do what he says. It
yeah.
was yeah, it was frustrating. If he's that worried about his family, he could have gone back and let the dad stay with his son.
Exactly. Like
Oh
he
man,
has a
that's
wife himself and a baby daughter.
yeah, I was so frustrated.
Yeah, that was a frustrating scene for me, for
But
sure.
but the brother was too
Mm.
high on the battle to want to leave the battle.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm having too much fun. This is the most fun I've had in years because he hates paperwork. And
Yeah.
that's what his job's been is mostly paperwork.
Yeah. Um, Missy was here. She's probably gone already. She said, unfortunately, I didn't get this one finished on time. I was really close to DNFing it after the first three chapters because of the freaking history lesson you were getting, which I totally get because I was bored in the beginning too. But I'm glad I
See, I
pushed
don't mind
through.
history lessons.
I was like, you were bored? I was so fascinated and
Yeah, I
wanted to
liked
learn
it.
more.
I mean, it was okay. It was too much info dumping. I felt,
See,
and
mine was the opposite. The first half of the book, I gave 5 stars. If Mamaru would have reached his potential and slain everyone and become this epic monster, it would have been a 5 or 6 star read for me. It would have been perfect
right.
because I loved the build up.
Yeah. Hmm. And she also said she pushed through and read through chapter 6 and decided to keep going with it. I haven't read any more after that. But she did say if she manages to actually finish it, she'll come back and watch this. So hopefully Missy can get through it.
Hmm.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are going to have to come back.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a
it's
chunky book, but it's also
Yeah.
it's not just about the size, but like because of what this book entailed and how heavy it got at times, I can see why it's so hard to get through.
Yeah, I understand it. I mean, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
and this is one that we were scared I think this is the one on our entire year's list we were the scared the most by
See,
Hmm.
because
this one,
neither me or Amanda read epic high fantasy.
Yeah.
oh, okay. This one made me terrified to wear the or read the Poppy Seed War. I've got up there and I was supposed to read it, but I've heard it's even more devastating than
Oh
this.
my god, I've only read book 1 of that, and that
I'm so
ending
scared.
is the reason why I haven't continued because I'm scared because I felt it in every fiber of my body.
I'm terrified of that book.
It is so bloody good though.
Oh, but
Oh,
were you talking about the Poppy War?
Yeah,
yes,
the
by
Poppy
R.F.
War.
Wong.
Ray loved that
Ah,
series.
I'm so nervous.
I need to reread book 1 so I can continue that
I
series one
actually
day.
had the first one. I borrowed the first one on Prime Reading because it was available for free with Prime. So I borrowed it, but I haven't started it. I was
Now,
supposed
did
to
So
read it
good.
back in April, and it never happened.
did Ray rate that higher than the Sword of Kaigen?
Did you rate it higher than Sword of Kaigen or the Poppy War? He's got to think about that one because he
And
really loved both of them.
and then my selfish side over here is like, did he rate Green Creek higher than those?
Did you hear what Clint said? Did you rate Green Creek higher than those?
My multiple editions of Green Creek
I
by
haven't read
TJ
it yet.
Klune.
Oh, okay. I know TJ Klune.
Wolf Song, Gay Werewolves.
Yeah, yeah. I have
Yeah.
not read it yet, but
My
I
favorite
see the
series
series
of all time.
everywhere.
I do want at some point want to go back to Wolfsong and try it again because I started it with the audio, and I wasn't quite feeling it at the time, and I put it down and never went back to it. But Ray, who was listening to it with me, just like sped through the whole series in like a week.
Um, the the roller coaster of emotions in that series makes this book's emotions kind of timid. Like
Okay,
that roller coaster of emotions,
I'll
especially in
have
those
to
little short stories that are outside of it. Like, oh, the mothers. Oh,
Was it
oh.
5 books?
It's 4 books,
Okay, I know
and
it's
then
a
there's 4 like little ebook things that you can find on his website or YouTube. People have made audiobooks for them now.
okay.
But they're so good.
That's what we do here on when we do live shows. We talk about one book, then talk about others.
Yeah, we go off on
Just all the
tangents.
time.
We might want to rein back in.
Yeah. I got another question though. Were there any plot twists that you loved or any that you hated?
Hmm.
I didn't. really hate any of the plot twists, to be perfectly honest. Everything to me felt authentic to the characters and the pain that they went through. I will say, Mamoru dying, I did not see coming. I did not
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
appreciate that. I didn't hate it, but I did not appreciate it. I did not appreciate that pain because I was not thinking I would get something like that while working.
Hmm.
See, I hated it. And that was the only plot twist for me that I didn't see coming, and I absolutely hated it because
Yeah,
have you
same.
ever read a book where there's multiple points of views and every time you get to another POV you're like, "Oh," and you kind
Hmm.
of like grudge through it to get back to the one you're enjoying?
Hmm.
That's
Right.
how I was with this book. And then when his point of view ended, I had nothing. I was like, "Okay."
Right.
No, I was so devastated. And that was the only plot twist I didn't see coming. The rest I thought was pretty on par for what I expected.
Hmm. Yeah. I kind of. I also wasn't crazy about what happened with Mamoru in the middle. I was really hoping he would like suddenly make a comeback
I thought so too.
I
because it
was
didn't
waiting
Until
seem
for the
like he was
dad to show
completely
up.
dead yet. It just felt like he was injured, and I thought maybe because it was in the middle of the book that all of a sudden he'll come back later.
I thought that when he fell into the snow and he said he could feel the ocean pouring into him, I
Yeah,
thought that instead of like just the whispering blade and being able to like be epic with that, I thought he was going to be able to pull all his blood together and like knit himself up using the blood magic, and I thought he'd be able to heal himself.
yeah. And another
I,
And when
thing.
he,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying another thing that really bothered me a little bit. Wasn't really explained. Was about that plane and how it got there.
The one from the past that like crashed on the
mhm.
rock outside the
Yeah,
building.
on the one that crashed on the mountain and it got stuck in there.
Yeah.
And there was
Uh,
no explanation as to how it got there like or
It
any
was a
explanation as to like
if if I remember right, they explained that it was made from that glass that can't break, and in
yeah
a previous
rosin I think
war,
it
it
was.
crashed into the mountain, and all the elders told them that it was a different type of plane,
mhm.
and that it just was there. And yeah,
Yeah, like nothing ever came of it afterwards. So it felt like it was a bit of a throwaway because it never got brought up again.
I don't know if it was a throwaway. For me, it was Mamaru's enlightening. It's
Mhm.
what like broke like
Beliefs, yeah,
his shell that kept him thinking that nothing was outside of his world. Him realizing there was glass he didn't know existed, and another soldier in it that he didn't know had stepped foot on his island. I think that's what broke Mamaru's
And
spirit,
their body
and
was still there.
yeah,
Or sorry, the the brittle bones that were decaying.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah. I
think that
felt
was a big enlightenment moment.
yeah, and I also really liked seeing Misaki like her past and seeing what she dealt with growing up, like her interactions with Robin and like how Robin followed her to um where she's living now on Kaigen and like in their interactions together. I kind of wish she left her husband for him.
There was such a missed opportunity between the husband and Robin fighting. I wanted to see a fight. Even if it was just for fun, I wanted to see a battle between them and see who was the best fighter.
I don't know about Amanda, but I lost you on my screen.
Yeah, you kind of froze.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but your screen's a little bit frozen.
I have no idea.
It's so,
Up there you are.
oh, there
There
you
you go.
go. Now you're good. Huh?
Your internet might just have lagged. You're back now.
Interesting. I mean, weather has been weird here lately. This has been the first day of sun in almost a week.
My whole thing with Robin and the going back to the past
Yeah.
was I didn't like knowing that she was so epic in childhood and such a uh not even good fighter, just a fiery spirit.
Yeah.
How instantly when she got married, she became submissive, almost like clockwork. And then she keeps talking about like how powerful her new husband is and how she doesn't think she would be able to fight him. But that goes against everything she was as a kid because her spirit as a child was very like doesn't matter how big they were, she was willing to fight. So I didn't like that. I think that was a missed opportunity. I would have liked that
Yeah.
she
I mean, she kicked his ass.
yeah, but it was
She really
so
did.
it took something devastating to do that, whereas as a kid and growing up, it seemed like it just didn't seem like her character to, like, just fold to her new husband and start birthing kids and
It
give
wasn't
up
really
on
her
everything.
choice. It was her dad that forced her into it. She wanted to marry Robin. She asked him, and he said, "No, you have to marry
Mhm.
this guy." Like
She
she didn't
shoulda
have any
ran
other
with
choice.
him.
I feel like if she had a choice, she would not have chosen him.
But she chose her family over love
Shoulda
because
chose
she didn't
love.
want. She
She
should have.
felt like it was her duty, is what she said.
That's what I didn't like. I think, she shoulda ran off with Robin and fought crime and,
I think she was
yeah.
afraid if she did that, she'd lose all touch with her parents.
But then we wouldn't have Mamaru and the
Yeah, true.
amazingness of that character alone.
Then you could argue he
Yeah.
wouldn't have gotten murdered either.
Even in my head, I'm like sitting there thinking if Robin and Misaki had a child,
It would have been epic. I
that
mean,
with the
Right?
fire, with the blood,
yeah.
with the ice that she can still do.
Right?
Well,
Like,
it also I guess what sucks about that is her dad's point did come to fruition where he said, "If you run off with Robin, you'll die." When Robin comes back, he says, "My wife died fighting crime." So, I mean,
Yeah.
her dad was right. It just
He
sucks.
was trying to save her in his own way. And so she listened to him because she was not that she probably would have died with Robin if she did go with him, but
mhm.
then she wouldn't have had her kids
Yeah.
that she loves so much. And now that she has her children, even though Mamoru's not with them anymore, she still has other kids that will like live up to her legacy in a
And she
way.
has one in particular that I think is going to really take after the mother and not the father at all.
Yeah, that
The youngest.
youngest.
Doesn't it
Yeah,
start with an I?
like um, eh,
I
Naga
thought I was gonna say Hiroshi, I
uh,
thought.
Iruni, something like that. Something.
No, he's definitely gonna be like the mom because at the end it says he can feel the liquid inside of an ant.
Yeah.
That was kind of
Izumo.
interesting.
Azumo? I Z
Zuma.
U M
Yeah,
O?
that's
Yeah.
yeah. I remember that name.
Izumo. Izumo.
And then
Yeah.
her other son, that was just like um the dad Hakaru, the one that starts with the letter H.
The one who killed the
Remember?
guy with her sword at the age of 5?
Yeah.
And
The
I'm
real
like, the
sociopath.
fuck?
it says something about him in the book where it says a decade later he'll become the youngest
Yeah, to do
to
the Whispering Blade,
wield
yeah.
the
Yeah.
whispering blade. Yeah,
At the
I
age of
thought that was
15.
kind of interesting. I think that's kind of what led us to what led us to um because I feel like right before he died in the middle of the book, Mamoru, he I feel like he did it, but then no one will ever know that he did the Whispering
Hmm.
Blade because he died right then and there. But um, I kind of felt like it was passed off to his brother because of I think his spirit wanted to make sure that his brother was able to do it, and so he could save his mother later on if something ever were to happen.
Hmm.
I felt like that was a possibility that could have happened
Yeah,
that
that
we
makes
just don't know about.
But I just don't like the fact that the oldest of the youngest brothers, so the one that starts with
Yeah,
an H, is so much like the father. It's
yeah.
unreal.
yeah,
Because then the one right after that was the one who was having the Nagi or whatever his name is. I know it starts with an N. Was the
Naga
one
something.
was the one having the
Not sure.
nightmares
Yeah,
Yeah,
of Mamaru being like standing in front of him.
such a devastating book.
yeah. I didn't. I also didn't quite understand the whole like his spirit still being there and bothering them. I don't, because of the way he was before he died. I just don't see him sticking around for that
It's a
long.
culture thing.
Yeah,
It's both parents have to say goodbye, or the spirit can't move on.
yeah, and the dad never did. He wouldn't even like pray over his son.
Hmm.
So why scare his younger brother like that? That's you
I
know.
don't think
It was,
he
it was just a
was.
spirit. Like, it wasn't actually Mamaru. It was more so him not being able to leave the corporeal realm.
And because he couldn't leave, he was slowly turning into those spirits and stuff that was at the lake when they were
Oh yeah.
going over the lake to save
Oh yeah,
Kwang. He was dealing with the spirits that were there, and he was trying to make sure that they ignore him because they can eat other spirits.
yeah,
So those are lost souls that were never given a proper goodbye from everybody who was supposed to say goodbye.
Right. Yeah. I know in the beginning we got Mamoru's perspective, but I felt like overall it was really Masaki's story
Hmm.
and not Mamoru,
yeah,
because we were getting all this background on Masaki leading up to where she is now, and like the way she was trying to fight for her family. I felt like this was really all about her in the end, and not so much about Mamoru, because
yeah. I felt like that
Hmm.
too.
I felt like
Which-
he was just a side plot.
That's what was upsetting
Yeah,
to me was I think it should have been vice versa. He should have been the main
yeah,
character with her being the side plot.
But we also don't get many books from a character like Misaki.
yeah,
And I think that's what made this book so powerful, having a mother so rooted in the fact that's her main characteristic is being a mother
yeah,
and doing anything and everything she can to save her children.
Yeah,
yeah. I agree. I think that was
Especially in
what made it so powerful.
mhm. I'm like, especially in books like this with like swordplay and avatar magic and stuff like that.
Hmm. Like, and I felt the book was really unfinished with the way things ended. I felt like it was leading up to something big that didn't actually happen.
yeah, I felt the same way. I mean, I do like that it built up to the huge fight with her and her husband. That was cool. I just hate what led to it, like how that's how it had to be. I wish it would have been a lot sooner. I wish when
Hmm.
her son came forward and was like, "Hey, Dad, this is what's going on in the world. I'm starting to see it. Our students are talking about it, and I think you're wrong. I think the government's lying to us." And the dad like confronted him and wanted to fight him. His mom being as worldly as she was, that was her chance to step in the ring, to fight the husband, to go all in, and I think it would have altered everyone's future.
Yeah,
And they might would have even left, and well, I don't think they would have left the village to die, but maybe they could have been more prepared for what was to come.
My thing is, I was waiting for the mom, like when he was swinging the sword, for the mom to come in with her sword to like hit
Yeah,
it and knock Mamoru out of the way.
that's what I was hoping would
I was
happen.
hoping that too, actually,
Hmm.
because she seems like the more powerful character out of all the characters. Since I felt like this was kind of like her story, that she was gonna run in and save the day, so to speak, and save everybody.
So frustrating.
I was waiting for that throne of glass moment, you know.
Yes. I will say she is probably now my favorite literary character, followed really closely by Manon.
Manon is
Okay,
my favorite.
man
So
is
I'm
up
like,
there.
she's
I
followed like really closely by Manon because I can't get Manon out of my head.
see mine's Orca. She's so awesome.
Yeah, I was comparing a lot of the times Misaki with Manon in my head so many times because they
Me
felt like the
too.
same person to me, almost. The only difference is Manon's not a mother, but
Yeah.
I don't think
I
Manon would
I
ever be
kept
a mother.
comparing the two of them though in my head. I'm like, they're so similar, and that's probably why I like characters like that so much. I love the ones that stand up for and do the right
Hmm.
thing, not just for them, but for their family and the other people that they love. And that's probably why I love Misaki in this one and Manon in Throne of Glass because they're so similar like that. They will
Hmm.
fight to the death, you know, for the people they care about, and because I would do the same thing, like for Ray, for example. So I love
Mamaru,
seeing that in books.
just Mamaru, 13. Just because we had that comparison. Ow. Okay. My brain just went, ow. That hurts. That hurts my heart too much to think about that right now.
Mm.
Too much pain.
Too much pain.
um, well, this is one that I do want to talk about because that ending left a lot to be desired for me.
I liked the ending because to me, this entire book felt like a one place, one time, one thing. Like it was supposed to have these other storylines discussed within it, but it's legitimately this one experience. And yes, we got the flashbacks and stuff to explain why Misaki was the way she was.
See, the ending for me was
Right.
brutal. Again, the dad being a coward, it just when they burned the bodies, I almost DNF'd it because he didn't do anything about it. I kept waiting for him to do something. Then when it's just every like chapter at the end, I was like struggling to push through the book. I was like, man, this dude is never going to do anything that makes him uncomfortable. And it was so
Right.
frustrating. But the bodies, I almost DNF'd it again because I was like, dude, you let him die, then you let him disrespect his body. I mean, it's what else is there now? It was so ridiculous. I wish
And
so
then,
bad. Again, that would have changed it too. Is
mm-hmm,
if when he was on the mountain, say Mamoru has to die in this series. If when they were on the mountain and he felt him die, I
mm-hmm.
wish he would have like unleashed hell on everyone and everything in the
But
village.
even he discussed that in that moment, he couldn't move because their deaths were so powerful. It hit him in a way that it froze him. Because of the abuse he had as a child, anytime something hard, he automatically disappeared into the mountain.
Yeah,
It wasn't something he did on purpose.
but
It's an
that's what I'm saying is
automatic
like
response.
all that built up or pent up like rage, all he had to
Should have
do
been
was just wait.
unleashed.
And when the government officials showed up and tried to burn the bodies, I wish he would have just like ice spiked all of them.
Be like, and here comes an avalanche, and it's
Yeah,
only
and
going
that
to
would
hit
have
them.
that's a redemption arc I could have gotten behind. Then I would have been like, okay, you let this happen. You redeemed yourself by literally being selfless, by killing everyone trying to hurt people in your village. And it's just, I don't know. I would have loved to have seen him like
But
lash out.
that would also have gotten his entire family killed
Not if he's powerful enough. I mean,
because he defied the government. That I think was what was going through his head is he didn't want anyone else to die
yeah,
by
probably.
defying the government.
he
I
should
was
have toppled the government.
Hello? Fuck you.
I mean, I was glad though that he finally stuck up for his village in the end. But at the same time, I felt like there was more he could have done to redeem himself. I felt like it was just kind of like, okay, I apologize. Now let's move on, kind of thing.
Hmm.
Like I just didn't feel like
Yeah.
it was that genuine. If that makes any sense. And so I felt like it was just because he wanted to move on with his life. He was trying to get everybody else to do the same, and I just didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like he really meant it.
It almost felt like he was like, well, I got 3 more sons I can try with.
Exactly.
Like, he's got backups. And it just I know there's dads like that, especially
You
if we're
do.
going back, like, ancient Japan and stuff like that. I understand that there were a lot of times and places where the kids were seen as more as, like, you know, numbers, but it's still frustrating. Looks like
Yeah,
we
and
lost
then
him. Oh, there he is.
I think he just had to turn
Sorry.
off his camera for a second.
He
But
kept, he kept
and
asking
another
me
thing too,
questions.
with Robin, the way that ended, and him just walking away, I'm
Yeah.
like, I kind of
Oh,
wish
yeah.
Misaki went after him.
That's another thing that pissed me off with not just Robin walking off, but he shows up and he's like, I knew this was a standalone. And then he's like, hey, there's this huge villain trying to kill me. He's like, a
Yes,
god. And it just ends. I was like, okay,
exactly. Like, who
what
is
is
this
this?
person trying to like coming after you? Like, why would you go to Misaki and ask for her help
Mhm.
if you're not going to follow up with another story so we can see what the heck is going on with Robin? At
Yeah.
least give us another story so we know what the heck is going on.
But no, she gave us Blood over Brighthaven instead.
Yeah. Well,
I
this is
felt
for sure a standalone. So it ends with an unknown villain chasing
exactly.
Robin. But the only thing I can see that she was trying to do is again maybe trying to point out that her dad was right and that she would be
Mhm.
being chased by like a mob god if she would have followed Robin.
I
But it
mean,
just
Robin
seemed
did say a lot of times, like, that he wished he didn't have his kids, so that way he didn't put him in so much danger.
yeah.
And I get that.
I thought for a minute he was going to try and leave him with her.
I thought so too.
I did too.
I thought he was showing
And
up
like, be
to
like, you
like
need to
leave
take
it.
care of my son for me, so I can take care of this.
That's what I expected.
I felt like that had to be the reason why he brought his son in the first place,
But it
and
was
then he
even
just
more
takes him
weird.
away.
He wanted to find out answers about, like, blood pooling, and then when he found out, it was just like, "Okay," and left. I was like, that was weird.
It
A
was such
weird
a weird ending to that. That I'm like, I literally, when I got to the end, I literally said out loud, "Kid you not?" I said to Ray, "That's it."
Yeah. It just ends.
Yeah, there's like no grand fanfare, nothing like Kingdom of Ash. Like, we actually understand what the heck is going on here.
That's what I like is, like, Kingdom of Ash gave you every single character's or Lord of the Rings, whatever you wanna talk about, is like, they're
Right.
like, "Okay, this is what happened to them. This is where they go on." This one just kinda ends.
Yeah, and there's no satisfying ending whatsoever, and it drove me crazy. And that's why I couldn't do more than a 4 star. But after talking about this, I might be dropping my rating a little bit more.
Yeah, I wanted to love it.
Yeah, I really wanted to too. So I really enjoyed a lot of it. Like, I loved Misaki's backstory and everyone that she fought with all the way up until this point. Like, those are my favorite parts, are the flashbacks. I loved those parts. I wanted more of those parts. And then, like, we get to this end, and then I'm like, wait, that's it? We're building up to something big, like, for nothing? Like, what?
See,
I was just
I
so
liked,
frustrated.
but I like the fact that it's very open ended. So if she ever wants to come back to this world, she can. It's so because technically Throne of Glass has an open ending in
Kind of.
Kingdom of Ash. There's still one storyline that has not been finished. And I will stand on the day that I want that finished.
What was it, Lorkins?
No.
I know who you're talking about.
M and D. That's all I'm gonna say is M and D.
Yeah, that's exactly who you're talking about.
I'm trying not to spoil,
No, I know what you're talking about.
but this is I liked it that it was so like, oh, this really was just this one point in
In
time.
history.
And we don't get a lot of fantasies that are like that, where it's just,
Mhm.
oh, you told this one story of this one family.
That
Right.
is an interesting way of looking at it. Like someone took a timeline reached into it and just grabbed a family out
Mhm.
and told you their story.
And I liked that. And it made me go, oh, I could see the author coming out with other standalones set in this world, following other characters, and it be so specifically them.
Different characters and different time periods.
Hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I thought maybe she left it so open ended that maybe one day she may go back to the Robin story.
Yeah.
I mean, she left it so open. She could go back to it. So, like, there's no satisfying ending.
I
It's just
mean, this
like
is her
left of
most
a page.
this is her most successful work. So why wouldn't you want to go back into this and expand on like something in the sidelines? And
Right.
and us who have read this already know Misaki and everything else. So if we get a Robin story that is just as thick, we
Right.
don't need a lot of explanation on Misaki.
Mhm.
I'm just mad that we found out there's a gay couple and we got nothing. That was my one critique is, oh, you gave us a gay couple and I'm never going to get to know anything about them. Okay, cool.
Unless the author comes back to it later on with another story. I mean,
Watch that be the storyline that she follows and not Robin's.
I'd
Yeah.
be so frustrated.
I'd be like, yay! Wait.
unless she unless she ties the two together somehow.
Hmm.
I think if I had to pick another story that I wanted to follow from this book, it would be the 5-year-old psychopath.
I mean, that would be interesting.
I think it would be really good. I mean, he seems like he's going to be an animal.
Right.
I would laugh
If
if he was the next one to get like kidnapped.
if you could hear the same story from another person.
And we were kind of talking about it, so I kind of pulled it up.
Yeah, that's kind of who I would go with. It'd be
Yeah.
the little 5-year-old's point of view.
I don't know.
He had an interesting perception of Mamaru, even though he was quiet and he never said anything. He clearly looked up to him, and at the same time, like everyone thought he was just like ice cold and stern, but he seemed to be one of the ones most affected when Mamaru passed.
Yeah. And another person who I thought would be interesting to hear um an- for another person's point of view for this story. I really was interested in possibly hearing from Asaki's brother because of what was going on over there.
Oh, yeah, that
Because
would
we
be
don't know
cool.
anything that was going on where he was. We know
He
a
was only
little,
there for like
not
10
much.
minutes. What?
Exactly. That's why I wish we had like a point of view from him.
I wanted more
I
of
know.
the dad's point of view in the beginning.
Takaru.
I wanted I wanted to know what went through his head when he was doing certain things.
What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Because we saw at the end how hurt he was by trauma and things like that and why he was in his learned behaviors. But it would have been interesting to see a little bit more of that at the beginning while Mamaru was still alive. And maybe see his moment when he goes off to go save the women and
Hmm.
the kids. It would have been interesting to get his entire take and maybe end it with him frozen solid, but know what was going through his head. I think
Yeah.
it would have made him more of
Right.
a likable character for people.
That would be interesting. But yeah, I really wanted to hear more from Asaki's brother, just because we only get a little bit of information from him. We don't know everything. I mean, there's some
No,
stuff on
nothing
that
at
side
all.
that we haven't heard a thing about. And I
Well,
wanted to know more about the government overall of like all the other areas, not just Kaigen.
there was so much left unknown. And I
Exactly.
get what you're saying that it was a random village or random family at a random point of time pulled out
Yeah.
of this timeline. I just don't know how I quite feel about that unless I know for sure I can get more books thrown into this series.
Hmm.
Just a standalone like that is so my brain can't handle the non-closures.
Right. I think that's why Clint loved it so much because he was able to because he loves those one moment in time types of stories.
Sometimes.
Did you
Sometimes
read
I
it again,
do.
Clint?
No, you did. For me.
What are you doing?
But um it depends on how the book is done. There are some times where an open ending, I'm screaming up a storm and I'm throwing the book across the room.
That's what I was like last year with Dana's Thrills and Chills, Ashley Flowers book. I wanted to throw that book across.
Oh my god, that book. Um, that ending. Listen, we're not gonna go there. Um, but
Right?
when this ended, I literally was shocked by how much I enjoyed it being open ending. Because
Right.
normally I would be like, what the hell is this? Why is this? I'm dropping 3 stars. We're gonna go a 2 star. Fuck you. What the fuck is this? Normally that's a me thing. If you don't
Right.
wrap it all up with a nice little bow.
Uh-huh.
But something about this, it just made it feel so real and authentic to the story.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm only playing up this question, Clint, because I feel like you would have an answer to this. But
Honestly, I don't have any.
I don't know if I have
really?
a quote from this that
Because you
stood out
highlight
for
stuff
me.
all the time.
I don't highlight at all.
No?
I don't tab.
I felt like you. I feel like you would
I
if it was
would
a book
tab
that you truly
this.
loved.
I would tab this, but I want my husband to read it. And if it's
Ah,
tabbed, he won't read it.
gotcha.
So I
No, I
put,
don't. I don't think
Yeah,
there was a quote that stood out to me.
I'm like, there was several, but I just can't
there were so many
pinpoint
good
them.
ones, but I also didn't highlight anything either. So,
There were none that. I mean, there were quotes, but there was none that hit me like, oh, I want to remember that one.
Hmm.
right. Because sometimes if I'm really loving a book so much, like if I'm reading it on my Kindle, I'll highlight stuff on my
Oh,
Kindle.
Kindle
But I
highlight
will
all
not do
day.
it to my physical copies. I cannot damage my physical copies. I'm sorry.
I can't either.
I can't say anything because Stalking Jack the Ripper series up there has highlights in it.
I haven't read
Uh,
that series yet.
one of my copies of Red, White, and Royal Blue have tabs in it to certain quotes because I've used Stalking Jack the Ripper and Red, White, and Royal Blue were in my wedding vows,
Oh, really?
was quotes from them.
Oh, nice.
So I can't say I've never tabbed because I will.
Yeah,
It's just
it
my
seems like a book that
husband
you would.
my husband just won't touch it if I do.
Gotcha. You
So
also
I
let
would
me know
have to
what
buy
Sterling thinks of it.
so I would have to buy another copy just for him to read it.
That makes sense. But you'll have to let me know what Sterling thinks after he finishes it. 'Cause I'm curious.
Ooh, does that mean I can tab up one of my Green Creeks? I do have like 5 copies of that series. Hmm.
You do own a lot of those books.
And I have more
Getting crazy.
coming.
More?
I have a
Was it that
pretty
one you told me about not that long ago?
I have a pretty set that's supposed to be coming in next month with all the houses on the covers.
Oh yeah, I do remember you told me about that.
Oh, they're gonna be so pretty.
Hmm. Um, let's see. Last question: has anyone's ratings changed?
Mm-mm. I'm pretty stuck. I wouldn't go below 3 because the writing is phenomenal. I'm
Right.
not going to deny it that, and the character development for a couple of the characters I liked, and I like the atmosphere of it. There's just things that happened in it that ruined it for me personally.
Right.
This is still my second favorite book of the year. This is the highest fantasy I've read this year because we know I've had a lot of fails so far this year.
Do you
Right.
read YA?
Oh, Once in a Blue Moon.
As I say, you might would like Caraval.
Oh, I've been trying to get so many people to read that
I have
series.
read book 1 and I DNF'd book 2.
What
I
was
pre-ordered book 2 and pre-ordered book 3 to the point where I got signed book plates at the time.
Do you still have it?
No, I've unhauled
Darn
them
it.
like years. I unhauled them before I met you,
Oh, darn it.
or
I
you
would
would
have
have
said,
got,
you
or
could.
you would have gotten the signed
I mean,
booklet.
my birthday's coming up. If you still have them, you can send it to me for my birthday.
I enjoyed book one at the time that I read it. Something
Right.
about that book two, her sister,
Tyler.
God, needs to be punched.
Yeah, I didn't like Tyler very much either, but I love the world.
Yeah,
I
it's a
was
very
obsessed with the
fascinating world.
world.
I am interested enough to maybe try the spin-off world, but
I've heard it's better.
don't
Well,
hold me
Stephanie
to it.
Garber is coming out with a new book in October that's completely different.
I can't wait. It's her
Me
And
first
too.
adult book.
It's on my books I really want wish list, and it's I'm
and we
waiting.
didn't
I'm
and we
gonna
didn't
pre-order it at some point. Just don't
and
know
we
when
didn't
yet.
think to use it for the book club.
Ooh, maybe that could be your January book. 'Cause we haven't
It's a
picked anything for the new
what
year
is it?
yet.
Isn't it adult student teacher with magic system?
It's called Alchemy of Secrets. Let me
I'm
see if
pretty
it's.
sure. No, it looks insanely good.
As long as it doesn't do what we found out one of our picks were going to do, so we switched it out because
I mean,
we had
I know the
Firebird on
girls
our
didn't
list,
love
but it's the
Kaigen.
slave master thing. I didn't want people to get weirded
Oh,
out or
Firebird by what is it? KX Song.
Oh yeah, this is
I don't
completely
remember.
different.
This one's like the Roman inspired
Yeah,
dragon shifter. Yeah.
yeah.
And I've heard way too much controversy, and I'm like, I don't want people to come to us and get upset with us for reading things that we didn't. I was like, let's switch it, please, just to be safe.
And oh yeah, I did forget to answer my own question, um, about my N rating. So I'm probably gonna go down to a 3. Because the more I think about it, the more frustrated I
So,
get.
But you have me and Jess over here like, ow. Because wasn't it Jess's favorite book of last year?
Yeah,
it's a lot of people's favorite book. That's why I'm upset with myself because
and
I went in with
Issa.
high expectations. I thought this was going to be like one of my favorite books of all time, and it was on trajectory to be one. I guess I'm just a baby because when something like that happens, I'm like, you know what? No, you're gone, dead to me.
See, I think I went into it knowing I may DNF it
I did
because
too.
because of the trajectory I've had of some of our fantasy picks this year. To give you an example, Josh, I gave January's a 2.5, February's a 1.5, and I
Oh,
DNF'd March's. So fantasy with this book club has been a lot of misses and now only 2 hits. Hopefully the rest of the year are more
Well,
hits.
April's book was great though, at least for us.
Yes.
see, I think I've only ever given one-star review because I'm a big advocate of if 100 pages in I don't like it, I DNF'd it. I'm done.
It,
Right.
it was one of those that I hate read the book and I normally don't do that, and it's only one particular scene that I still see in my head that still angers me to this day, so it deserved that 1.5. It got a point 0.5 because I finished the book.
That's fair.
Oh, Lady of Darkness, right?
Yes,
I haven't read that one.
It's not
because
by Melissa K. Rorich.
all because the trigger warnings at the front are liars. It says discussion and off-page sexual assault. It's freaking
Well,
on page.
I don't like reading
I
stuff
don't,
like that.
I don't know, Clint, if you watched my amazing readathon pre-race scramble vlog, but I
Mhm.
talked about the second book in that vlog.
Okay. I don't know if I've actually watched that or not. I've watched so many videos while I'm taking a shower in the morning just to like wake me up, and then I forget if I've watched them or not, so I have to go back and rewatch videos.
I literally just
Oh,
posted
I've
it.
seen
Like,
this.
was it yesterday, day before, something like that?
Oh, then I haven't yet.
Yeah, it's very new.
I've been in my MM romance vlog.
But my rating on the second book went down, so you should definitely check out my thoughts.
Oh, well then, if it went down for you, it would
It went down
surely go
one
down for me.
star from the previous book.
So then I would give this book a 0.5.
Probably. I actually the stuff that you hated about the first book was not really in the second one, so you might like it a little bit more.
But I don't care
I
about.
hated Soren so much with my entire being.
Oh, he was the character I was interested in. Interesting.
But you'll have to watch that vlog and hear all my thoughts.
I'm not reading another series where I hate Red Book 1, like I
Oh,
did with the
I can't
Crave
do it.
series. I hate Red Book 1 of Crave.
I haven't read any of those either. I own all of them, but I have not read them.
I own all except for the last one.
Loved the
only-
series. Loved the series. Was amazing. Was obsessed for a minute there. Hate Red Book 1 because I have friends on TikTok that was doing a battle. Which do you like better, Crave or Twilight? And I was like, well, I can't answer this because I haven't read Crave. So I hate Red Crave to the point where at the end of it, I was like, that was an enjoying hate read. And I don't know how to feel about that.
I think
Do I continue?
I think the only book I've hate read was Onyx Storm.
Yes. Josh and
love
I talked
Onyx
about
Storm.
Onyx Storm. We
Oh, I
both had the
hated
same experience.
I hated it. I was absolutely, but I hate read it because I was so excited for it. Like I bought shirts, I went to the midnight release, like all of this, and I got all these like cool editions of the book. So I was like, I'm going to read it, and it was
Right.
just, oh, by the end of it, I was hating reading it.
Crescent City 3.
I haven't read Crescent City yet.
Crescent City 3, which when I finished it, I gave it a 5-star because I love the characters. 2 days later, it dropped from a 5-star, I think, to what was it? What did I give it? A 3, or did I
I think
give
it
it
might have been a
lower?
3.
Because
You
then
went
I
down at least 2 whole stars, is from what I recall. Because Dana and Karina and Kaylani, I think the 3 of them all said like they really could not get behind that book.
it says I gave it a
And Dana
4.
had a whole list of things of why she hated it so much.
Oh, that's right. I gave it a 6, and I dropped it down to a 4.
Oh, that's a huge
Well, it's not
drop.
bad.
It went from a favorite of the year to no. And if
Not
I do
a
not
favorite
get a
of the year.
story, if the next book does not fix my merman storyline, I will be angry.
I mean, they have to. I mean, his storyline's the only one that's not finished.
She did my man dirty.
But also, Josh hasn't read the series yet, so we can't give away too much.
No, I have not.
So you'll have to read it and let us know what you think.
Crescent City, right?
Yes.
I plan on it. I've read all the Akatar and Throne of Glass, and so Crescent City's next on the Sarah J. Maas train.
You should do another vlog reading those books.
It took
I
me
need
6
to do a vlog.
months. Took me 6 months to read book 1
Oh, that's a long
because
time.
I started it and then I put it down, and then my friends were like, "You were 20 pages from when the action started.
Right.
Pick it back up," and I was like, "I guess." And then I finished it in 2 days.
We did have Trin popping in.
Hey,
Sorry I'm late, just dropping by to show some love. I haven't read the book yet, but fully intend to get to it soon. That's good. She said she's predicting the Sword of Kaigen will be a 3 or 4-star rating whenever she gets it. So
I guess
Preemptively 3-starred it.
that actually makes sense for Trend's reading tastes.
yeah, probably. I haven't talked to her much in like quite a while, so
She really wants me to read, I think it's called Dwarves.
what is that?
It's a high epic fantasy series.
Really? She wants you to read an epic fantasy series? Does
Yeah,
she-
it's. I know, right? Yes, it's this one by Marcus Heights. It's called The Dwarves.
That's it. It sounds very plain.
This book.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Interesting cover.
She said she really wants to know my opinion on it because me and her tend to match on things like it.
Right.
But then when I saw some of the wording and stuff in it, I went, "Ooh, that's high epic fantasy that I'm gonna need brain cells that day to read that."
Um, that was all for the questions that I had. Unless there's anything else that we haven't covered.
I don't think I have any more questions.
No. I don't.
I
I can't
really
really think of
enjoyed the
anything else
talk,
either.
though.
I think I pretty much covered all my thoughts. Unless Clint, you have any other thoughts?
No, just that I loved it, and I'm shocked by how much I loved it.
Like you even said before you started, just you wait. This is gonna. I bet this will be like a new favorite. Like that's gonna shock me.
I even stated, I was like, because of how scared we are of this book and how my year has gone, watch me be the one that this is my favorite book of all time.
And here we are, your favorite book of
And
all time.
and I'm like, oh God, no, it will never, it can't rival with my faves. Putting it next to Green Creek and Heartstopper, listen,
Right.
no. And my boys from Soulbound,
Before we leave for the night, we should. Clint's already holding it up, so thank you, Clint. We should announce what June's book is going to be. As Heaven Official's Blessing, and I can't read the author's name from here, but it's a long name that I can't
Mozang Tongzu, and illustrated by Tan Guang Si Fu.
a lot of names that we cannot pronounce.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there is no audio for those who are interested. You probably would have to find a physical copy,
It is an
or
8-book
or if
series,
there's
but
an
it is
ebook. I'm not
completed.
sure, but it is male with some paranormal stuff thrown in there and gods. So there's ghosts, gods, fantasy. I'm excited. We haven't set a date yet. We have to check in with our guest host Lori on what day's good for her. So we will check in with
I
you
thought
guys
it
with
was
the
Bethany.
dates. Huh?
Thought it was Bethany joining us.
She never responded. So
Oh, okay.
we said Lori was going to join us regardless if Bethany did or not. So
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we?
yeah.
I've slept since then. Listen, life, and it has illustrations.
I love good illustrations in a book.
Right. So that will be our June book. We will keep the Instagram updated of when that live show will be. So we will let everybody know very as soon as possible. And I'll also put it up on my channel for those that um keep an eye on that. And Clint will also share it on his if he wants to.
Yes.
But we want to thank everybody who was here for being here. I know a lot of people didn't finish the book, which is okay. But definitely come back and watch and hear all of our thoughts after you finish it. Because you want to, and then comment down below so we know what your thoughts were.
Yes,
Was
comment
it
and let us know. Let us know at least your ratings down below when you
yeah,
do come back.
yeah, because we're curious in other people's ratings. And I also want to thank Josh for being here. So thank you so much for joining us. This was so much
Thank
fun.
y'all for having me.
And
I'm always
hopefully,
down to talk about books.
right? Because I knew it was on your TBR, I figured it'd be perfect for for you to join us. You seemed right up your alley, even though you
Yeah,
didn't love it as
it
much
was a
as
good book.
Clint did. It's always fun to talk about. If you love it or hate it and why. That makes for a much more fun discussion, I think.
It
I
does.
agree.
I'm
So,
just happy I'm not the one hating on something this time. So
I don't think
listen.
anybody really hated it. it just wasn't like fabulous for all of us as much as it was for you.
It was book one of a series for you guys, and for
Yes,
me, it was a standalone.
Yeah.
yes, that is exactly it.
Actually, I don't think it would be book one in a series. It's probably like the middle of a series.
That's what it felt like.
Because at the beginning, it did feel like we should have known certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but thank you all for those that were here. Thank you for joining, and thank you, Josh, for being here. Hopefully, we'll see you back another time.
Oh
So,
yeah. Thank you for having me.
oh, thank you for joining. It was so fun. So everyone will be linked down below in the description if you want to check out Josh's channel and Clint if you're not already following. It'll be down there. And stay tuned for all more bookish stuff from all three of us if you stick around. So thank you so much for being here. If you want to give our live show a huge thumbs up, that'd be amazing because we love you all. And make sure you smash the subscribe button down below for me and for my wonderful co-host over here. So thank you for being around, and we will see you all in the next one. So bye, everyone.
in broadcast. In